Let's go to the NBA first. It's a huge 9-game slate tonight. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, too many games, I think, to dive into all of them. Again, I can't feel like I say this all the time, but we would do a full show if we really broke them all down like that. And other than just listing off every single thing that stands out, there's no real way to cover them all. So we'll look at a few. One thing, just feel like this is a good plug for the Dimers app that I did want to look at tonight was Joel Embiid, because he was projected atop the board, 31.5 points, I believe. He was plus money for 30 plus. He's been great since he came back from his latest injury stint, 28, 30, 29, I believe, in 3 straight games. Ended up being ruled out, but that's obviously now updated, and the app makes it just super simple to open and see the players immediately affected by his absence. But similarly, we'll look at some players who are shining in the Dimers app, and I got to figure out a way to incorporate the app more into this podcast instead of just screenshots, but casting my phone and then navigating the app is a whole other process that I'll have to figure out. So we'll go here into the projections, and I'm basically going to look at 3 individual players. Do I have 3 or 4? 3 individual players, and then one, I guess, category we'll look at. But one thing I want to look at is Jason Tatum's rebounds here. You look, we've got him for 8.6, which is a top 10 mark or so of the night. Since he came back, he's got 6 double-doubles in 11 games. He's only scored under 20 in 4 games, including his first game back. So his points upside is just as it ever was, pretty much. And his rebounds are, I mean, really effective. Like he's getting more than just 10 in a lot of these games. We've got him for 24.5 points tonight. So basically 25 and 8.6 rebounds, just right around 9. So there's a few options here that stood out to me when looking at the lines. 9 boards was plus 101 on DraftKings when I was doing the research, which is pretty much right where we have them at. So that seems like a solid straight. Double-double at plus 147 on DraftKings, not a bad look either. Although his only double-doubles have come via rebounds. Doesn't have a single one with assists, and he's plus 167 for 10-plus boards. So you don't even need to worry about the points on the, off chance that he has a bad shooting night. You can just take the 10-plus boards, which is even better odds than the double-double. Or if you want just the Dimers model value, I guess 8.6 for 9-plus seems pretty solid. You could build his double-double at 20 points and 10-plus boards, or even the 9-plus boards, and get a little bit better than the 167 as well. I think it was 212 for 20 points and 10. If you want to just, take him just a touch over 25 and 10, you get pretty good, about plus 240. So a few ways to play Tatum tonight. I do like the rebounds on its own. 9-plus seems pretty good when you're getting even money. If that's gone, I might be inclined to just take the double-double. Think he gets one more board. He are middle of the pack versus rebounds over their last 15. Better versus forwards. But I think it's worth noting that the Celtics allow the second lowest field goal percentage, opening up rebound chances. I think they were opponents shooting 37.5%, something like that. Maybe it was very low 40s. I can't remember. I should have put that in these notes, but second best, I think. So yeah, very good matchup there for Tatum, I think, as far as attacking the boards. Similar angle going to the top of the board here for rebounds with both of these guys. Karl Anthony Towns, you got Knicks versus Grizzlies here. Hopefully this one isn't too good to be true, because no team has allowed more rebounds over their last 15 games than Memphis at total of 50.1 per game. Wizards are second with almost 4 fewer, which is a pretty big gap over that sample size. Cat is our top projected rebounder tonight at 13.3, just below Jokic at 13.5. He's at what I would call very playable odds of minus 112 for over 12.5 boards. In the 8 games that he's hit 13 plus this month, he hit 14 plus in 7, 15 plus in 5. He doesn't just spike. He can hit those numbers in these particularly favorable spots. He grabbed more boards in March than he did in any previous month this season. He's in his best stretch as far as grabbing rebounds. He had 18 and 17 versus OKC. They ranked 22nd. He had 16 versus Washington, who ranked 29th. 15 versus the Nets, 14 versus the Pelicans. Both those teams are bottom 10 versus rebounds. His ladder starts at 14 plus and plus 142 if you want to go above the 13, which is, like I said, at pretty playable odds of minus 112. I kind of like him for, 15, 16, 17. I don't know how high I'm going to go on him tonight. I'm going to play the three of these guys that I talk about in some sort of ladder parlay. Maybe just take their first plus money entry each and call it a day.
I like that.
Maybe step it up one step for a very, very small, like 0.05 unit or something. But then our last guy, top of the board for boards, Jokic versus the Jazz. Another one in an almost identical spot with our top projected rebounder against the third worst rebounding defense over the last 15 games. 13.5 projected, as I mentioned. I guess the biggest concern here might be the blowout potential in Nuggets versus Jazz. Got to decide if you want to risk him playing potentially only 25 minutes. However, I will point out that these teams played twice in the past month, including just this past Friday. They were 3 and 4 point victories for Denver. First meeting back in December was a while ago and a 23-point win. Jokic played only 29 minutes in that one, still put up 14, 13, and 13. So just under this mark here, but he's an absolute force even in short stints. I mean, it might not be worth a bad idea seeing what his first quarter rebounds are like. We've seen the guy almost get triple doubles in the first quarter before. I sometimes wish we had those types of projections, but you can apply the Dimers projections to that. If you think he's going to have a big night in a blowout, just go for him early, kind of like I used to do with the first quarter stuff in the NFL. But if you're looking at his boards and aren't concerned about blowouts, we've got him at 13.5, 14 plus was minus 102 on FanDuel before the show. That's almost even money. In just his last 10, he's only gone under 14 twice. He's gotten 15 plus 6 times. That seems like a pretty good floor maybe to start. And he's gotten 20 plus twice. So I think I might just go for 15 if you're playing a straight and then play his 20 plus as a secondary lower unit. And if he gets both of those, you'll be happy. But I do think it's worth noting that if you try to ladder him 16, 17, 18, until you get to like 19, 20, the gap between odds from one to the next just isn't even that much. You're going from like plus 160 to plus 220 on some of them, which can be, how do I want to say this? You can over invest on a ladder because you're trying to stagger your units and it gets harder to stagger when the odds don't quite give you the return that you're looking for on those alternate lines. So those are my 3 rebound guys tonight. Our top 2, and then Jason Tatum from the top 10. Pretty solid matchups for Kat and Jokic. And then I think some kind of hidden numbers, I guess, for the Celtics for Tatum with the field goal percentage, despite the decent rebounding defense of Miami.
Board man gets paid, Dave. That's what we're after tonight. We're after some rebounds. The great Kawhi Leonard once said. Okay, what if we want to spice it up a little bit, though? Because I'm a shooter, Dave. All I do on the basketball court is stand in the corner with my hands out. So give me some guys that are going to make some shots tonight.
Yeah, so this is kind of fun because there's a lot of bad 3-point defenses playing tonight. In fact, the 3 worst are all playing: the Kings, Pacers, and the Bucks. Top projected 3-point shooter in those games is Reed Shepherd versus the Bucks at 3.2. He's actually up from 2.9 earlier, so I like what I see here. Matas Buzelis, where is he? Down here, 2.6 against the Pacers. And then Quickly would have been our top guy here for the Raptors against the Kings, but he's probably been fully ruled out by now. He was questionable. He's been out for a week. He was in a boot. I didn't think he would play anyway, so I prepared for this. But the Raptors are also the 5th worst defense, so we can go to the other side. It's very rare that we tail the Kings and don't fade them directly, but we can go to the other side and go with their top projected guy, he's a little down here, Malik Monk at 2.2. Or you can look at Jacoby Walter for the Raptors. Lower volume, more like I think this is later season coming on, getting this role here. But Malik Monk 2.2 here. If you take them all for 3 plus, you get plus 533. Do what you will with that. Or when I say all 3, I mean Malik Monk, Shepherd, and Buzelis. That is, not Walter. And I take them for 3 plus each, which is right about where we have them projected. You get plus 533. And I think against these bad defenses, lots of volume, bad 3-point shooting percentage, pretty good chance that some of them will find their spots tonight.
It's also two of my
Have to look
favorite
at that.
college basketball players ever, Reed Sheppard,
Really?
Malik Monk, and then Modest Buzelis, a guy that I wish would have played college basketball. He chose the G League route, and you can't say it hurt him to where he is at in his career now. All right, I love that. We got, what is it, a little over 5-1 for 3+ each.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
Yeah,
solid.
I can assure you I will be doing a round robin of 5+ for very, very small pizza money. But just in case these guys get hot, when heat checking against a bad team on that defense is just usually in a particular statistical category is a pretty good spot, I think.
Absolutely it is. And Dave, if you want pizza money, well, we're doing a pizza party at my house tonight. So good vibes all
Let's
around.
go.